Hi guys, today we are going to introduce about a few advanced shift long ways basics. So these are the let and where keywords. Okay, what's the use of the let and where? How do we need to hold the all the data types and different kind of data into the let and where keywords, and how to declare the shift functions as well as the methods, and what new syntaxes came in shift 2.1 to 3.0. And also we are going to see all the foundation kit data types, and these data types are basically used to hold a different kind of data, that is basically to declare only specific data types. So either string type, array type or dictionary type for both constants as well as variable declaration. The simple difference between the let and where, basically the let is for declaring the constants and where is for declaring the variables. If we declare any variable using let keyword, so we cannot change its value, but whereas if we use a where data type, so we can change its value. So basically where is for mutable types and let for immutable types. And how do we need to declare and how to hold the data, and how we can hold different kind of data using let and where keywords. Okay, we'll see once we start development. And in the foundation kit, all the long way syntaxes, okay, what we have both for Objective-C as well as shift, and we use different data types like either the shift primitive data types like string, array, dictionary, as well as the Objective-C data types also we can use in shift long ways. Those are all NS classes. So those basically NS array, NS string, NS dictionary and NS integer. So like that we have so lot more classes in the foundation kit. So how to use these data types and how do we need to manipulate some operations with these, okay, those things we'll see. And shift also provides a new mechanism or the concept called optionals. Basically optionals avoids the runtime crashes. Okay, there is more advantage with the optionals. So because whereas in Objective-C when we declare any variables or the objects, by default it holds the nil, and sometimes so we may want to append or we may want to use some accessing the nil object which may crash the application. But to avoid the runtime crashes, the optionals basically avoids in shift. So that's the advantage of the optionals. So how to declare the optionals and what's the use of optionals, and how do we avoid the more runtime crashes in the mobile application iOS. So that's what we are going to see in the optionals. And also there is another concept introduced by the shift in the shift long ways by the Apple, that is optional binding as well as guard statements. Optional binding basically used in order to verify whether the optional variable is having value or not. If it does have, so what we need to do, okay, we can unwrap. So what is the optional unwrapping, and all those things we'll see in the optionals concepts. So basically optionals avoid the crashing of the runtime as well as the binding is used to verify whether it has the values or not. Next, the guard statements also almost same, because when we use the if and else conditions, basically so in some scenarios, okay, we may not need the else and we basically just want if condition, and it other scenario, so we have to write one more block like else to avoid that else block. So we can use this guard statement, as well as guards also avoids the nested if. Basically many times we usually write if and else, if and else like that. So within if statement we can write multiple ifs like nested statements and other languages, whereas in shift the nested statements will be avoided by using guard. Because so we can write using the optional binding, okay, in the guard, and so we can also return the other else case and with the where statement also. So how like we will write a sentence writing, the same way we can write using the shift syntaxes. It could be very easy to write and it avoids many other blocks and nested if statements, okay, while using guard. So this is the advanced statements what introduced by the Apple, so which are in the new shift.2 onwards, and we are going to introduce this optional binding and the guard statements too. And along with this there is another important concepts like generics. Basically when we want to swap between one data type value into another data type, so generic data type values if we want to hold, so we need to use the generics. Basically these generic types to receive any kind of parameter to the functions or methods. So generics basically holds okay any kind of data, because already we will mention the type for the generics. So based on the generic types, if you want to swap the values from one category data type to another category data type, so we can easily do. So this is the new concepts introduced by the Apple in SIFT 2.1. So these all are very very important in the real time application development. So basically, so these optionals takes place okay more importance in our iOS application development. Let's see some advanced controls what we introduce. Okay, so these controls are important in the real time application development, and very few people and even nobody will introduce these the advanced controls in iOS. Like, so the navigation controls, okay, these are like your navigation basic controls, okay, people might have introduced, but there are some other C connections with the navigation controls, so which are used to navigate from one screen to another screen. And also we introduce the custom table use, like how do we need to display the list of content and creating the each and every row with number of views. So I will show you these screens okay one by one. And next, the storyboards and C connections. Basically, so using storyboard and C connections, we can easily provide the screen connections and navigation flows. And another important controls like hamburger menu and the slide menu, okay, which we usually see in many mobile applications, like splitting into two screens like the left pan and right pan, like that. Okay, and also we introduce the UI collection use, which basically displays the grid views. So grid items means basically like the photo library, or in many in online shopping application we will see the list of items will be displayed on line wise. That means any line, so list of the collections items will be displayed. So those are basically created by UI collection views. And another view is like custom views, where so if you want to draw our own views and if you want to use the same view in multiple places, we can write a separate custom classes. And how do we need to use the same view, like some bordered views or like gradient buttons or any kind of custom drawable views like cylindrical or circle views. These kind of views also we can create, and the same views we can use in multiple places. Let's see what exactly this navigation control and table use. So basically table use, okay, to create the custom table use we usually create on the single view controls. So entire table view controls, okay, we see actually, but when you want to create half of the screen table use, and if you want to customize the table view based on our requirement, like the cell customization as well as table header customizations and all the things, okay, we see. So in order to create the custom table use, we also use the custom UI table use cells. Okay, the customized table use cells means okay, however you want to customize the cell, like creating the number of sub views on it, okay, we can create. Let's see on small screen, example screen, what we introduce in the app development. So if you want to display the list of tourism places or list of hotels, okay, we usually use the table use. And on table use, to create each row we usually use UI table use cell. On this, okay, we use to display some image view as well as some title text, some rating and location as well as the price. So this data either it could be static or downloading from the service. Basically, so when the text grows, automatically the height need to be increased. So how do we need to increase? And usually the default cell displays only like the empty with only one label. But how do we need to add like image view, title and all these sub views? Okay, based on our requirement we can customize this cell. And the most important thing is like when the text grows, automatically this height has to increase. So how do we need to adjust? And also how do we need to make it compatible this sub views in all the screens, like in iPhone 5, and iPhone 6 and 6 plus and 7. So how do we need to make it compatible the same design with different iPhone models? So those things we are going to introduce in the custom table use, and which we use okay, most of the times okay, in real time. And in auto layouts, okay, it's very important when there is a text grows, automatically which one need to take priority. See this, if you see this price, okay, up to how long it will occupy. And here whereas it takes the right align, but if the text grows of the price, automatically it will come to the up to here. So how do we need to adjust the layouts? It's very important. Okay, so the layouts are very important. So in case of our all new devices design, and in order to make compatible for all the iPhone devices. So in creating a responsive design, the auto layouts takes more priority to make it compatible for different kind of devices. Okay, so we usually use the auto layouts like the custom layouts like the adaptive design pattern to make it compatible for different screen resolutions. Okay, so these are about the custom table use. Okay, what we introduce and how do we create this kind of design. Okay, so let's move for the collection views. If you go to the collection view, the same way how like we are able to create the table with number of rows, in this we usually call number of items. So when you want to display the list of items with some title, image and description like this, so we can easily create using the collection views. So basically the collection views are used to create the displays the grid items. So like grid means here, so horizontal and vertical items we can calculate, like in one line, so we have 2 items, and vertically we have 2 items like this, and we can also create in one line 3 items, in another line 4 items like that. So however we want to create, we can easily create. And how to customize the collection view cell with different items. Basically this entire title with the add to cart button we call items, and on this, okay, we can create the title, description and image, so like this. And what are the subviews we want to add on the collection view item, so we can easily add. So this is all about the collection views, and which provides you to create the grid views. So we are going to introduce, okay, these grid views also. So how do we need to create this kind of screens. Okay, and also along with the navigation. So I just want to show you, okay, few apps, okay, which uses this grid views and all, and with the navigation flow. Okay, so I will show you the sample applications. Okay, after this let's see the slide menu controllers basically use, okay, in order to choose a menu options. Usually we see the tab bar applications in the bottom of the screen, but usually when you want to create the slide controllers, the application may includes many menu options where the user cannot see in one screen, so that user can pick any options from the menu list, and so that he can go to a particular screen. So instead of having, okay, within that if you have multiple categories, okay, we can show the subcategories. When we choose yes, we can go to the screen like this. So if it is related to some any enterprise applications, we will have the different categories, like in banking and other enterprise, choose the sub menu options like fund transfer and the loans, and all these kind of options will have. So the account summary and other options we can choose here, we can go to that. So because, okay, in one screen we may have a lot of categories, that's why all the categories we can choose, and under that the subcategories we can choose on the screen itself, the center screen. So the hamburger menu is also very important nowadays. Okay, so because we usually create these kind of screens, and these kind of screens will be included in multiple applications. Okay, these are all about the hamburger menus. And another navigation controller basically used to navigate from one screen to another screen. So when you want to move from one screen to another screen, or if you want to push number of views, we usually use the navigation controls. So the UI navigation controls are also applicable in the design file, like we can provide the C connections on the design files, where we can easily move from one screen to other screen. Let's, okay, I'll show you so how these controls will work, and in the custom table use, okay, using the sample application. Okay, so we have explained, okay, so lot of controls like this, and where these controls are used to display different screens and with the different options with the sample apps. So let's see. So the slide menu controller basically, okay, so when you click on the slide menu, so it comes like this, okay, usually. So user can easily move to a particular screen like this. So when he tap on that, yes, he can easily move to the screen and to that particular category screen, okay, whatever it may be he want to navigate. And so this we usually call the page controller. When user click and he can easily swipe from one screen to another screen like this. And in this we also created like the grid view, that is collection view. So I'll show you here the collection view. So where user can see all the list of items like this. And if you want to go to the detailed description, he can tap on it, so he can go to the next screen. So like that. Okay, these are all the advanced control, we are going to introduce, so which we usually use in the real-time application development. Okay. So, this is about the collection view controller, which basically displays the list of grid items. So, here how many number of items we want to display, we can easily display. Okay. So, the simple, so how many number of items we want, we can written here, okay, to display the number of items, and this content we usually download from service. So, how do we need to integrate the web services? So, download the data and display, so each item content in a separate cell. So, this item basically we call UI collection view cell item. On this we usually customize like how many items sub views you want to display. Okay. So, this is about the your UI collection view with grid item creation. Now, so if you go to the custom table use, okay, which usually displays the list of content with the number of items. Okay, this usually called, okay, the table use, and which is having a list of items with the some any information like some hotel information or whatever it may be. Okay. So, basically these kind of apps will be displayed the list of content with a particular app information. Okay. So, either it could be like some hotel name and description like that we can display, and in this we can user can able to scroll the list of items, and as well as he can tap on to go to the next screen. So, when user select this, okay, you can able to move to the next screen. So, in order to view the detailed information of this. Okay. So, how to create these kind of UI table is using the table E controls. So, basically on each and every cell however we want. So, if we want to shift this image to right side, yes, we can keep, and all other information we can keep in the left side. And here if you observe this, okay, so there is more description is coming because, okay, in this, okay, the height was fixed. So, here just for understanding we just put what is the height of the location we are usually getting. Okay, for that purpose we just set the border in order to represent, okay, how much height you are getting for each and every label. If you observe this, okay, it is having more height, but it was truncated. But usually if user want to see the entire height, how do we need to increase the height of this cell, that row height automatically? So, if you want to increase the row height automatically, so we have to use some auto layouts, and which we have to use in an accurate way, so that and priorities, and how do we need to set based on that. If text increases automatically, which one need to take more priority, and how the row height will be get increased. So, basically how to display the content dynamically, and how do we adjust the height of this layouts dynamically. Okay, those things we are going to introduce in the table E controls. And also like see, so when some element is there, okay, so based on that how much area it can occupy, okay, with respect to the left element. So, basically each and every element will have the spaces like left space, right, top and bottom. So, how much area it can occupy and how much priority it should have, okay, so rather than the other element. If there is a chance of, okay, the rating is always like 5, so that's why it never exceeds right side. So, that's why we are giving the priority up to here, or else we can give up to here. So, that means the price would be displayed, okay, within this area. So, like this. So, how do we need to give these many relations in the auto layouts? Okay, all the things will be introduced, okay, while creating the table use itself. Okay, this is all about the advanced controls what we introduce in training, and which usually required in most of the applications. Every application includes the table use as well as collection use. And the collection use also we can easily convert into table use like this when we give the item width as screen width. If we give the item width in screen width, then automatically the collection view we can convert into table view easily. And in few scenarios, okay, we cannot create the all grid items in the table view because we need to use lot more conditions. So, that is why we have alternate control called this collection view. So, this collection view item, okay, just we have to write a number of items so that it can create automatically, and we have to load the content. So, how do we need to validate the layouts as well as how to create the design like these kind of screens, and we have a lot more controls. So, whatever we see in the real time applications, all those kind of screens we are going to introduce on this. So, next, okay, let us see some navigation control, how do we need to apply. So, the navigation also very simple, and how do we create. Okay, I will show you just one example and how to create the navigation control in simple and easy way. Okay, I will illustrate to direct creating on the Xcode projects. Let's go to Xcode project and go to Xcode and create a new project and create single view application. Give the application name as okay, so basic navigation. Click on next and create where do you want to create the application. Just create. So that's it. So this is the way how do we need to create a single view based template application. And if you want to create for the design, so go to main.storyboard file and select the view controller and change its size to a particular device size. So because initially we have to consider any particular device size. Okay, based on that we usually make it compatible for all the device screens. Let's create for either iPhone 6 or iPhone 5, whatever it may be. So let's select the iPhone 5 4-inch device, that is for iPhone 5. So this screen width and height would be 320 by 568 points. So in points level, but while displaying, it displays at double. That means it renders at double resolution. That's usually called retina display. Your screen resolution means basically 640 by 1136. That means double of this. But while creating the design in points level, we say 320 by 568. That means any element when we add, that width should not exceed more than 320, or else it will exceed the screen width. It won't visible to the user. But we can still display okay in bigger screens, because how do we need to make it compatible? That's using auto layouts. I will show you the basic introduction of auto layouts also here. How do we need to make it compatible design? It's simple. So let's select this V controller. This entire controller we call V controller, that is its parent class is UI V controller. Every UI V controller contains one empty view, and its V controller class file is mapped to this V controller. That means this design file is related to this class. That's it. So now we have one V controller. So every V controller will contains one views by default. Now select this and go to the attribute inspector. If you want to change any color, okay, for this if you want to change the colors, yes, you can select the any background colors like this. On this, okay, we usually want to create 2-3 buttons just for navigation from one screen to another screen. Simple, just select a button and drag from library area to your screen. It's simple. So just select the button, and if you want to change some appearance, go to attribute inspector and change the background color and text color like that. Okay, whatever we want to change. It's a simple. Okay, so we can select the background color, and the same way. So if you want to create one more button, yes, we can copy paste here, or we can create the button like this. Okay, we can drag and drop. So drag and drop one more button here, and you can adjust the width and height by just adjusting like this. And while drag, it also show you the alignments. Okay, so where exactly the first element was ended, and is it center align with respect to that or not. It just show you the lines. And also if you press the alt, we can easily know okay what alignments we are getting, what is the left padding, right padding, and top and bottom. So when you press alt and just click on this, okay, we can easily see the paddings of this. While creating the design, if you want to create a basic paddings, okay, whether it's correct or not, we can adjust, or else you can go to the size inspector, you change the x and y width and height values, so that we can adjust the widths and heights of any elements, okay, including paddings. Now change the appearance settings like properties. So go to this attribute inspector, go to background, and if you want to change any background color, yes, you can change. And for this, when you change this, okay, it's not visible because of the background color is dark and its title color also. Yes, you can change the title color to some white like this, so that it will be visible. So usually, so if you want to set the title color for the button, yes, we can set. This is the way how do we need to change some appearance to the your button. The button titles, some home screens, or maybe like some hotels, okay, places, okay, something. And I'm going to copy paste the same, just drag drop, okay, however you want to create some menu buttons, okay. So here something like some hospitals, okay, assume that you want to find okay some information, so where we are getting some menu, so like this. It's simple. So while adding also it show you okay the lines, okay, so whether it is the same alignment with the previous elements or not, okay. So we can change the title for this colleges, okay, something like so. Assume that we have some 4 buttons, menu buttons, and if you want to change a different colors, yes, you can change on it. We can change for other colors, yes, go to the different colors and still you can apply. So like this, different buttons. And basically we are designed for iPhone 5, so it works on only iPhone 5. Okay, works in the sense like it displays as it is the same design on iPhone 5 only, but when you try to run on any other device it won't come in center because we didn't use the auto layouts. It's simple, the auto layouts also we can apply for each and every element. So just applying the paddings as well as the constraints. Basically constraint includes left space, right space, top and bottom with respect to each and every element. So if want to fix the height we can fix, or else while increasing the width we can increase the height also. Yes, we can run like that also. Okay, so in order to apply these constraints we have to go to the pin menu and go to this and just remove constraints. What is the left padding and right? So if you want to give the left and right side padding same, yes, you can give these same paddings like 65 and 65, or else we can give like right side also 55. So left right we apply, and bottom with respect to what? Not with respect to entire view. So it is with respect to the bottom element called this tourism button. So just select. So that's it. And width and height we are not mentioning fix. If you want to mention the fixed height we have to select like this, okay, or else don't give. If you mention the fixed width we cannot apply right. Why? Means when I give fixed width it will stop here, from here to here. The width and x value, the spaces value we will calculate from left to right. The y value or top space we calculate from top to bottom. So in this, when you give the fixed width it will stop up to here 200. So whereas in bigger screen the right side padding would be more, right? So when the right padding is more, so it should be more than 65 in bigger screen while giving fixed width. Fixed width means what? It will stop here, so that you will have more space. But if you recommend like 65, it's not possible. It could be more than 65. That's why we cannot give fixed width and right side padding, right constraint usually. And so while increasing the width, if you want to increase the height also, just we have to select the aspect ratio. Aspect ratio basically increases height also while increasing the width. In bigger screens, okay, while increasing width it looks like very small because the height looks like less. That's the reason we are increasing this. Okay, select aspect ratio also. Aspect ratio means for 20:3 because of for 200 the height is 30. Okay, that's what is displaying. So 20:3 is nothing but 200 by 30. Okay, so in this ratio, okay, it is displaying. Basically it uses aspect ratio calculation. What is aspect ratio? Means while increasing the width automatically height also will increase. Now the width is 200 and height is 30. If the width is increasing, automatically height also will get increased. Next, the same thing you can apply for this. Okay, it is for top. For this element the top alignment was already applied. Why? For hotel bottom means for tourism button it is top. So you can apply the constraints here also like left and right. So you can give the left and right. So if you want to give the right also 55, yes, we can give. So after we pin, then only we have to apply the change the value. Okay, without selecting the pin, if we change, after select the pin the value will reback. Okay, you will be getting the previous value only. So bottom with respect to this. So if I want to give the 21 for each and every, yes, you can select that. That's it. Now see, so when I select this, basically it is giving warning because of you give the 21, actual padding is bottom is 18, so it has to move down. Like warning is nothing but actually where the actual position will be displayed. For this also, what's the right padding for this we set? Basically the trailing is nothing but right, so it is having like 65. We can set changing like this also. And for this also, what is the trailing? Trailing it is having 65. You have to change some 55 if want. Okay, after apply the constraints also we can change the its values. But for example, if you drag like this, okay, see actually it will display the up to here. The warning means while running it will display in the warning lines only. When we update the frames, then automatically we need to apply new constraints. If you want to update constraint, we need to click on update constraint. Update constraint means new constraints will be updated. Update frames means as per the current constraint the frame will be updated. So that's the meaning of this. Okay, so now apply for these also. Suppose what left and right width we have given, the same we want to give, yes, we can give relation. Right click, drag here. So leading means whatever the previous element is having left, the same. Right click, apply trailing, that means whatever this element is having right side constraint like this. And another one is aspect ratio. What are the aspect ratio you set for the previous element, the same way you can set for this. That means while increasing the width, automatically height also will get increased. And also bottom. What is meant by bottom here, that is vertical space. Vertical space means basically like one element to another element. The same way you can apply from this to here. Okay, we can also apply directly like this. In this way also we can apply, just we are relating with one element to another. So leading, what are the leading space with the previous element, the same leading. What are the trailing, that means right space to previous element, that. And we are also applying the like this aspect ratio. Okay, aspect ratio means based on the width, automatically height will get increased for this button also. That's it for these last two buttons. Okay, it is giving warning because of for these we need to set update frames. Basically whenever it is displaying like these lines, warning lines means while displaying, okay, it will display at the warning lines based on the constraint applies. So if you want to set the same to display in the design screen, you can just click on update frames. That's it. So this is the way how does it updates. And the previous element also having some warnings, yes, you can apply the warnings. That's it. Warnings are not basically errors, just for suggestion, like while runtime, so where exactly it displays. Okay, that's what it is providing. Now our aim is we want to navigate from one screen to another screen while tap on the button. It's very simple. So while moving to another screen, we must have another control, another V controllers we must have. So we have to just drag drop, we need to provide this some connection from one screen to another screen. And before we do navigate from one screen to another screen, first of all we need to add navigation property. Go to V controller, editor, embedded in navigation controller, simple. So that's it. Now what we did is our navigation controller was initialized to this. So what's the use of navigation controller? So when user navigate from one screen to another screen, all the screens will be held by this navigation controller on stack wise. So if you move from first to second, second to third, then two screens will be stored in the navigation controller. And when you navigate from third to second, the last one will be removed. That is usually called stack order. Okay, that is early for that is last in first out order. Okay, so now let's see these values. Okay, so it is giving basically warning because of when you update, this is going little down. So just you can click on update frames, that means it comes down. Why means we give the top adding some value, right, 56. That means always it starts from top to bottom as 56. Now in order to navigate to other screen, what we have to do, just you add some other controller like view controller, just add one more controller and one more controller like this. So in that we have added two view controller screens. Change this size to again iPhone 5 because initially we are considering iPhone 5-inch device design. Now again you change this and you select the size to 4-inch device. Okay, so if you want to change the background colors, yes, we can go to this and change auto it maybe. And for other screen we are just changing other background colors. And if you want one more screen, yes, we can drag drop one more V controller screen. Yes, we can drag drop like this and change its size and apply the constraints. Okay, that's it. Assume these are the screens we did. And let's, how do we need to navigate from one screen to another screen? In order to navigate, we have to add navigation control property root screen, that is nothing but the home screen which will be displayed. So when user tap on this button, so he has to move to this screen. So how to provide the navigation connection? It's simple, just you have to right click and drag here, then it shows you show detail like this. Show means just it will go, details means okay, you will just navigate. Just click on show details, that's it. Okay, when you click on that, you will automatically navigate to that screen. So we have already applied the constraints. We can run any device. Applying constraints and using layouts is nothing but make the design for all compatible devices. You can run on iPhone 6. We design for iPhone screen, that is just we consider one screen design. Still we can run on iPhone 6. Let's go and run on iPhone 6. When you run the simulator, automatically it launches the simulator. When you run the application, automatically it launches simulator. Yes, now see, so when user click on this hotel, so automatically it is displaying. Show details means it is presenting basically. Okay, so instead of this, for example, if you want to just provide show and present means it present from bottom, and show means it just shows like navigation. Okay, and for this connection we can also set some seek connections, and here also we can change. Okay, so the seek or model pop over like this, and present pop over means it is for iPad, and present model means it present from bottom to top, and push means is the normal push connection, and show details means it is also presents on the existing screen. Now let us see, so when we set the normal show with the push connection, how we usually navigate from the first screen to second screen. So that is it. Okay, this is the way how do we can easily navigate from first screen to second screen while tap on hotels. For tourism, no. For hospitals, no. For colleges, no. Why the college button looks like small? Because its aspect ratio was not set. So why the aspect ratio was not set means, because for this let us see what properties we already applied. So either it could be the trailing we already set, and align leading we set, and 20:3 and top we set, because the bottom we didn't mention height increase. Why means, so when for this bottom is there, okay, based on it is automatically increasing, but whereas for the last button the aspect ratio property was set, but still it is not displaying because of the bottom was not there. So bottom we cannot give basically, so because if you give bottom, if the screen height is more, then automatically it will increase more height. So that's the reason, so we won't give. Okay, based on that we can set some fixed height for this. Okay, select this, and we have to give the priority wise. If you give the bottom, because which one it has to take, usually set some bottom to this. Okay, we can give bottom, but the bottom value we can also give like more than that, or maybe lesser than this. Okay, so like this, that means this value or less than means automatically while increasing height it will increase the height of this element. So less than or equal to means, because that value is this value is 263 in iPhone 5, it looks like less space, but whereas if you come to this, okay, it is coming like more. So that's why instead of less, yes, you can give more than that, greater than or equal to this. And now if you go to this, so how much space it will occupy. Now see, it works exactly same, that means 263 or greater than or equal to 263. So like that we can give. Okay, if you give the bottom, and in this case the bottom is not required. For example, you just give some fixed height, and we have some other relational constraint. Okay, so that we can adjust the height of this also, the height of this other button. Okay, how do we need to make it compatible for all other screens? Okay, so the fixed height means basically you will be getting always fixed, even if you give the aspect ratio it does not work, it does not work. Okay, so fixed height when you give, okay, always it takes the fixed height. And how do we need to increase the height also when width is increasing. Okay, so all the things will take care. Okay, in case of auto layouts concept. Okay, in auto layouts, okay, we are going to introduce all these kind of things. And also when the title text increases, automatically the button height also need to increase. So how do we need to do? So all these things, okay, we introduce in actual auto layouts concept. Okay, so that we can easily understand how do we need to create dynamic layouts. So however we created the connections, the same we can create for this button. Right click and drag here, select the show, and for hospitals also you can get right click and create this. That's it. Now if you see this, okay, we can easily understand, okay, how we are able to navigate from one screen to another screen. Now see, first screen, and when you click on this, yes, we are able to navigate. When you click on this, we are able to navigate to third screen, and for the last button we haven't give the action, that's why we are unable to move. And still, even if you click on last button also, if you want to go to any particular screen, yes, we can give. That means for the same button we created two connections. That means even if you tap on any one button, you will go to same screen. That means for this button also we want to navigate to same screen. When you tap on this button also we want to navigate to this screen. That means if you tap on this, I call this pink color button, purple button, and even if you click on this hospitals, for both buttons we give same destination controller. So from where we are navigating, this is we call source, and also this called root screen because this is the initial screen. So like that we can easily move from one screen to other screen like this. So this is about navigation controllers. Okay, so this is about navigation, how do we need to move from one screen to another screen. The same way we have lot of customization design, like how do we need to present from bottom to top, and how to scroll and swipe to navigate, and all those actions we have. Okay, those things we'll see in our actual UI navigation controller as well as custom navigations. Okay, so this is all about our the advanced controllers and the major controllers what we need in our actual app development. Okay, that's it. So this is all about this session. Okay, thank you.